Hey everybody, Aaron from KissDrumMethod.com, and today I'm going to show you yet another way to keep your drumming simple. What we're going to work on today is actually we're going to learn how to make the stick bounce and use the bounces that it creates to help us roll. So we have two choices. I like to break it down to 2 or 3 choices whenever possible. So the one is to let the stick bounce out, which we discussed in a couple lessons, and I'm going to discuss in more detail when I do a technique lesson soon. But for now, we're going to talk about letting the stick bounce out. We talked about that. We're going to talk about that more, but we're going to talk about letting the stick bounce into the drum now. So when I say bounce in, that doesn't mean leave it in like this. That's not bouncing. It has to bounce and get the buzz sound, or a double or a triple or whatever. So I have it set up this way so you can see the stick better, because you don't need to see my face for this one. So what we're going to do first is just let the stick fall. And you hear at the end of that, right there, at the very end, like tick, 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 tick. Bzzz. The buzz sound, the stick naturally does it. So we just need to learn to control it. So what you want to do is you want to just get used to what it feels like when the stick does that, and then experiment with pushing it in. And notice the beginning of that time I did it, how it was more like a bunch of separated notes and then the buzz. We want to go right into the buzz. You know, that goes directly in zzz, instead of tick tick tick. So that's what we're looking for. And notice also that I'm pulling it across the pad. That actually helps to just lengthen it a little bit. Where if I just hold it in one spot, little extra buzz. So what you want to do is get really good at doing that with both hands, and you can go back and forth doing it. Just so you can see both my hands. And let each stick go until it completely dies out. You don't want them overlapping just yet, because we're looking to extend them as much as possible. Once they're comfortable, you can start speeding them up so that they overlap, and you get that full, consistent, sustained sound. Alright, so when I'm doing this, I push in at the beginning, but then I loosen up as it continues. You can actually see my hand loosen up towards the end of the grip, towards the end of the buzz. So you gotta adjust the pressure as the stick is asking you to be adjusted. Like with technique, you want to listen to the sticks. The sticks give you all the answers, so you want to feel the sticks and just notice how they're reacting and allow them to do most of the work. So you're just letting the stick do what the stick does. Alright, so that's like, I don't know how many buzzes that is. That's like 10 to 12 hits of the drum right there each time I do that. So if you can get 10 to 12, you can get 2. That's actually how we do doubles. It's the same feel, or triples. But instead of letting it just go until it dies, we're only going to do 2. You just got to control it and stop it after 2. And you can let it bounce slower. There are 3 ways to do doubles. First one is actually just doing 2 singles. I'll start here. See that? I'm doing 2 wrist motions. When we're actually doing a double, we get 2 notes for 1 wrist motion. This is 2 singles, 1 double. Okay? So that the second way is letting it bounce, and the third way is actually doing wrist first and then fingers. Wrist, fingers. And that one actually, that's how you get the fastest, but it also takes the most control. So we can learn to control all these buzz notes into getting 2 notes or 3 notes or 4. That was 4 or 5. And from there we can do our double stroke roll, our triple stroke roll. You can do quads, quintuplets. And experiment, combine, have fun, and keep it simple, stupid.